I love Olympic curling. This is the greatest shit ever. All right, so what are we doing again? Oh, yeah, wrestling. That's right. I have a wrestling podcast. I'm back this week, boys. Let's have some fun. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 93 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Back in my hosting chair after a long overdue absence. I am back. I am excited to be back. We are always powered by the Eastern Observer. You can taste the power. I just poured my cup of power right there while the intro was going. I forgot to do that. Because I'm still a little rusty here. Hopefully all my graphics, everything will be good to go. On the bottom part of our screen, the first ever PWP champion, the true Survivor League Eliminator, Eastern Observer football champion, and apparently the Essential Wrestling Podcast third string quarterback, living legend, John DeConnie. John, how are you? I watched the last 2 weeks. Looks like you and John Smith were having some fun by your lonesomes.
All I can say is thank you. Thank you for coming back. I have complete new respect for what you do and the way everything unfolds in front of you and all the different things to pay attention to when you and Ryan are in the driver's seat. And I never want to do that again.
Okay. Well, we will do what we can to make sure that you're not put in that position. On the top part of our screen, our backup quarterback, the owner, the creator of MinutesToBellTime.com, right? It's not a podcast, right, Ryan?
That's right. .com.
Ryan Joy, glad to have you back. I know you were on vacation for the past week or so as well. How are things?
Things are good. I'm looking forward to being on the show today, making my picks for this week's matches, which there are a lot of them.
Yeah, we got 3 shows to pick this week. James Wheel's already chiming in. Breaking news, 205 Live officially canceled. Jason Weston actually just texted me that about 10 minutes ago during pre-production. Yeah, we were talking about that as well. Level Up. Also talking rumors that new commissioner Cody Rhodes might be headed there. We'll get into that later. On today's episode 93 on February 15th of the year of our Lord 2022, Gary Mehaffy is with us to talk NXT UK and finally a big main event win for our European Jersey guy. Way to go. Can't wait to talk about that with Gary. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows presented by Minutes to Bell Time and sponsored as always by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, John DeConnie, were you doing this? I kind of saw this graphic kind of up there. Am I the only one?
No, John Smith would drop in the line, but I kept botching finding the actual picture.
Hey guys, you'll like it too. You'll like it too. We're going to main event the show. Like I said, we have 3 shows with points on the line this week. We're going to main event the show with making our picks for Vengeance Day, for No Surrender, and for the Elimination Chamber. Here are our roll-up standings going into, I guess, starting last Tuesday after John DeConnie turned, hit the end broadcast switch. This is what we were left with. AEW with the lead. I think Raw might have something to say about that. We'll get to Raw in a little bit as well. We're going to curtain jerk the show with AEW World Championship Texas Death Match. But before we do, John DeConnie, this took place in New Jersey. What, in your vision, would be a New Jersey death match? Like Taylor Hagen and cheese in the face?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's like the equivalent of Frogger going trying to go across the Jersey Turnpike. That's a Jersey death match.
That's awesome.
Would have to have something to do with traffic, absolutely.
John DeConnie, we had a main event, though. Good main event.
Yes, sir. Hangman Adam Page, Lance Archer, the Texas Death Match in Jersey. It starts backstage. They jump. So, man, we didn't even see who jumped who. We just saw them at it back in the go position. They finally rang the bell as they fought their way out the tunnel, and they were out in front of the Trons and whatnot. They make their way all the way down to the ring, just beating the hell out of each other back and forth. Hangman hits an early buckshot lariat, but they tumble out of the ring with it. And then Dan Lambert says, "Let's take that out of the arsenal." He goes underneath, grabs one of the 16-inch wrenches. He undoes the top turnbuckle, loosening the entire top rope, therefore making sure that Hangman can't hit another buckshot lariat, or so he thought. They fight around ringside. There is some, gratuitous violence and plenty of blood. We get a nice moment where Jake Roberts hits a short arm clothesline, and he's setting up to drop Adam Page with a DDT. But Archer says, "No, that's mine. Let me take care of him." They continue to fight back around. Archer would hit the blackout from the edge of the apron onto the ring steps, which had been turned on their side. Ouch.
Yeah.
That
Nasty.
made me feel really bad for Hangman Adam Page. And eventually, once they got back, they would get back in the ring. This match was about 15 and a half minutes long. Archer would use the referee bending down to, scoot something out of the ring or whatnot, and jump off his back to flip and hit the buckshot lariat, taking both himself and Archer off the apron through double tables that were set up side by side. Archer would not beat the 10 count. Hangman does. There's your death match. Your winner and still AEW champion, Hangman Adam Page.
All right, so Ryan Joy, like I said, with the additions, the subtractions, we lost Cody. We'll get to Cody in a second, I promise. James, we were chiming in. Leo Rush is now gone.
He is.
Brian Cage, where the hell's Cage? But we have some new additions, so we get this. So who's next? Here's your roster. Who's next? You think will challenge Adam Page? Because I believe something happened post match.
Yeah, sounds like Adam Cole came out and held the belt high. So which, of course, leads us to believe that's going to be the Revolution match. And because he put his hands on the belt so early, we know he's probably not standing a chance to win. So they gave away the finish.
Yeah, right.
But
so fun little thing, and I'll never forget this. Like the brief moment, I guess when I watched when the Bullet Club jumped Adam Cole all those years ago, and Cole was leaving. His last match in Ring of Honor was actually against Hangman Adam Page. And Page actually did the Adam Page, baby. I thought that was actually really funny. So a fun little history with Adam Cole, Adam Page. Not to mention, I don't even have noticed they have the same first name. I thought that was great. Jay Gates, glad to see you, buddy. Trying the steps moves is great. Wouldn't be surprised. Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to see it again though, man. That was rough.
Jay Gates, former roommate of mine, Little Falls, New Jersey. All right, he's not a Jersey guy. MJF with a huge entrance after his win over CM Punk came in. Everybody, I guess, came up before him, and Maxwell came in, and then he talked. Wow, did he talk? Eventually, Punk came out. Punk wants Wardlow. Max said, "Sure, but you have to beat FTR, and you have to find a partner since nobody likes you." He thought it was going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match. Lo and behold, here comes CM Punk with Jon Moxley. They got the win, and I just found out maybe about 2 hours ago before I sat down for pre-production that tomorrow night on Dynamite, CM Punk will name the time and the place. Well, he will have his rematch with CM Punk. John DeConnie, they did it to us again with these two because they could have swore the first time they said they wanted nothing more to do with each other. They wanted the title. Then they're at each other again. Now Punk wants World. What are we doing here, John? This is going to end the Revolution, I guess. Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. They'll find some way to stretch this out to Revolution. It's not far enough off to where that should be a very difficult thing for them to do, and I'm sure it'll be great when we get there again.
Yep. Wardlow defeated the Blade after a powerbomb of Symphonies. That didn't last too long. What did the bottom line say? John DeConnie, what was the time on that? That was long, right? 4 minutes.
So that's a little over 6 minutes.
Yeah, wow. Penta El Zero Miedo. He's not happy with Malachi Black spitting in his face, but who is? It's COVID, right? Serena Deeb defeated in action. Oh, I just swiped the pen with the point. I just got the chills so bad right there. Serena Deeb defeated in action with a Professor's 5-minute rookie challenge with a Serenity Lock. And then Ryan Joy, we had our first of the Face of the Revolution ladder match qualifiers.
Yeah.
We have Isaiah Cassidy in the ring, and
he's awaiting his opponent.
Corey.
Awaiting his opponent. And out comes Keith Lee, and it's a big Keith Lee. And he gets to the ring, and they ring that bell, and the first thing Keith Lee does is toss Isaiah Cassidy out of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Clear out of the stadium, out of New Jersey. I think he landed somewhere in Pennsylvania around the middle of the state. So Keith Lee, big deal in that. Very impressive first move. And then, they did a whole bunch of stuff to make Keith look really impressive. Isaiah Cassidy did a great job in this first match against Keith. There was flips and stuff out of the ring into the clutches of Keith Lee's hands, power bombs and all that kind of stuff. Keith Lee, of course, gets the win here. He's going on to the Face of the Revolution match at Revolution. So big debut for AEW. Keith Lee is your addition this week.
How many weeks in a row has it been?
For an addition, I think it was just one. Who was it last week?
I don't know. But it was steamrolling there for a second where somebody new every week.
Yeah.
It was Martinez or Sting decided to re-debut again at Winter's Coming. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Coming up this week, as I mentioned, Wardlow. He defeated the Blade, the Powerbomb Symphonies. He's actually going to be in a Face of the Revolution qualifier match. He's going to be looked to enter into this match. That would be a fun little stare down between him and Keith Lee. Friendly reminder about this match, though. I do believe it was a couple of weeks ago in a backstage promo that MJF said he's calling Wardlow to qualify, win the ladder match, and win the TNT Championship. And when he does, Wardlow has to give Max the TNT Championship. Did I call him Max, or was only Travis left? I just realized I was doing that. So I feel like this is an easy pick-em for Wardlow, Ryan Joy, but where do you feel this is going? Early prediction?
You're not giving Max Caster a chance?
No. No.
I mean, yo, listen. Yeah, Wardlow in this one. For sure.
John Connie, over under. It took 6 minutes to take out the Blade. Where's the over under on this?
Yeah, I'll put it at 2.5. But the more interesting Vegas number to me is the number of movements in this Powerbomb Symphony, and I'm going to put that one at 7 and hope for the over.
Wow.
He just keeps on just boom and then back. Yeah, that would be fun for Max Caster. Britt Baker claiming responsibility in bringing in Mercedes Martinez, as I just mentioned, into AEW. Mercedes Martinez's match this week with Thunder Rosa will now be no disqualification. This should be fun. These ladies are going to beat the holy hell out of each other, and I'm excited, John McConney.
Yeah, I'm thinking Mercedes wins with some underhanded tactic to continue this along, because we need this to continue along. At some point in time, I assume it's going to transition from Mercedes to Britt, but for now, I think she could mess with Martinez for a little while longer. So I'll say Mercedes gets the win here.
Okay, let's say Revolution is right around the corner, Rye. Britt really doesn't have any type of setup right now than Thunder Rosa.
We got to speed it along. I think Thunder Rosa wins this match, and as she goes on, she's going to face Britt Baker. But Mercedes Martinez and maybe Jamie Hayter on the undercard of Revolution as an outcome of this match.
Yeah, they've been going at it. Things aren't too well in Britt Baker in Happy Dentist Land, Happy Smile Land, Happy Teeth Land, wherever she was.
Britsburg.
But you think that I was thinking about that with the numbers game because you could just have the 3 of them just beat the holy hell out of Thunder Rosa and then have Martinez get the win, but that would still lead to Rosa and Britt. But if they're not getting along and Hayter's a wrench in this, I think you got to go Thunder Rosa right now and just book that for March 6th. I think that would be absolutely great. Matt Sydal took offense to Bryan Danielson saying that he would be a better mentor to Lee Moriarty than Sydal is. And actually, Lee wasn't happy that Bryan Danielson needs to be more violent. So they're going to get at it this week on Dynamite as well. I believe this conversation took place on Rampage. John LeConnie, how fun is it trying to juggle back and forth the events of Rampage and the events of Dynamite and trying to make sense in a nice chronological order to make sure the audience is not confused, hopping back and forth. I do believe you were like, I'm going to jump back and forth last week. You're like,
exactly. There's no way to make sense of this and put it in a nice linear equation here. But I think Danielson winds up using maybe something extra violent like the cattle mutilation to teach young Moriarty a lesson to hopefully get him under his wing in the future. Whether that happens or not, who really cares? But I think Danielson comes out of this one.
Just going back to the main event, Jay Gates saying if they put the belt on Rose, they will kill the division for a while. Wow.
I don't know if I feel the same. I think they've had the belt on a heel for a long, long time, and now they need to have some of the heel challengers.
Did you see Hikaru Shida's Q&A? Hikaru Shida's Q&A. What's your favorite part about AEW? She's like sitting and catering, watching everybody else wrestle.
Ouch.
Bring her to NXT 2.0. I would have a problem with that. The Inner Circle had a team meeting, and Santana and Ortiz are pissed. Brian Joy, I believe I skipped your pick. I'm sure you're going to take Bryan Danielson, so I hope I'm not stepping on your feet too much. But this is a little more interesting. When the Inner Circle is going to, you said implode. I think they might explode, go WrestleMania 5 style in a tag team match.
I think I'm going to pick Bryan Danielson first of all, to beat Lee Moriarty. But Bryan Danielson's had great matches, so I'm hoping that Bryan Danielson brings the best out of Lee Moriarty, and we actually see a little bit of what Lee can do because we really haven't seen a whole lot yet. I'm going to pick Santana and Ortiz here because I think that this is about getting them ready for those tag titles. And what better way to get them ready is they're going to end up being the bad guys. They're going to be the heels in this, I think, by the time it's all said and done, which is appropriate because our tag champs are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. So, I'm going Santana and Ortiz here, and it's going to be nasty, I think.
Yeah, they're the ones that have the motivation here, John LeConnie. Usually the motivated ones usually tends to win these types of matches against guys that are, like Jericho and Hager as the good guys. Are like, okay, guys, calm down, and then just going to get their asses kicked.
Absolutely, and I think we'll see a Mad Bull get involved in this one. Maybe we even see Kingston's been off TV for a little while. Maybe it's because he's rehabbing something. Maybe it's because they're just keeping him apart from this. So maybe he interferes. If he costs Jericho and Hager the match, then you can have Eddie go after Jericho for a little while, and that frees up Santana and Ortiz to go after those tag titles, like you said. Which is where they belong in that realm and moving in that direction. So give me Santana and Ortiz in this match.
Fun fact, I didn't even know that Jay Gates, that's Ric Flair in that picture. I didn't even know he's standing next to Ric Flair in his Facebook picture.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Jay Gates never ceases to amaze. Jay Gates, absolutely amazing. Andrade said he's the next TNT champion. I believe that. I don't think Andrade would steer me wrong on that one. I believe it, but there's going to be a TNT title match on the line. Probably the main event this Wednesday night has Pilar defends against Pilar, John LeConnie. That's more reference for John Smith and the Big Lebowski, but it's Pillar versus Pillar with Sammy Guevara defending against Darby Allin.
Yeah. Wow, this one is tough because there was really no build to this. Darby came out and stood by Sammy a couple of weeks ago and just kind of like looked longingly at the belts on his shoulder. And now here we are in the middle of this. There's Sammy's basically been playing the part of a face. Darby is the uber face. Obviously, they're getting somebody ready to go up against Andrade. I'm going to say they keep it on Sammy. Give me Sammy Guevara here. He's served up for Andrade next.
Yeah, and the whole thing was Andrade trying to buy the services of Darby Allin from Stinger. I enjoyed. I think
that's the pay-per-view match.
I think this might be a triple threat at the pay-per-view. I think you go Sammy, Darby, Andrade. I don't know who's going to walk in with the belt and who's going to win this. Maybe Andrade helps Darby win.
Maybe, but I kind of feel like Andrade and Darby have to have a match or something. So
that's fun. That's a fun slip up.
So I'm giving Sammy Guevara the win here. I think he's going to retain the title, and somehow Andrade is probably getting involved, and leads us to Andrade Darby.
That's awesome. Here's the fun thing is John, Sammy seems to be the good guy here. How is Sammy Guevara the good guy here or anywhere ever? So he brought this poor woman onto national television, a woman that he was in love with for X amount of years, proposes to her. She's at this big moment on national television and then drops her 5 minutes later for 10-hour content. Like, this is... Dude, like, why even go through that if you know Ty... Obviously, him and Ty have a relationship before. I don't know. Sammy's an asshole. I'm sorry. Pardon my French. But Sammy's an asshole. So, whatever. Screw him. Going on to Rampage. Switch the ticker down at the bottom. Rampage. Nice tag team championship match, John DeConnie.
Yes, we had Jurassic Express defending against Colton and Austin Gunn, a.k.a. the Ass Boys. This was
not my point. I'm sorry, John. Not my point, Jay. I guess he landed Taikani, good for him, but he just made this girlfriend of 7 years look like a complete asshole on television. Sorry.
Yeah, no one can say he's insane for going with Conti, but why drag the other girl out and let Max take pot shots at her the week that she was on television and whatnot. Anyway, back to Jurassic Express and the Gun Club. It was a fun match. They got about 12 and a half minutes. There was lots of, Billy and Christian messing with each other outside. There was lots of hijinks and whatnot. At one point, Colton blasts Jungle Boy with one of the belts, only gets a 2 count out of it. Then Austin misses a famouser, and Jungle Boy hits a kill switch to get the 1, 2, 3, and Jurassic Express retain.
I believe that is a second Christian Cage, or the first of 2 Christian Cage championship wins here, one by Jungle Boy. Matt Cardona won the NWA title. He was paying homage. It was Christian's anniversary winning the NWA title, and Matt Cardona had the tights, the design.
Yeah, his whole outfit was a tip of the cap.
The good Dr. Britt Baker that we mentioned before, she was in action on Rampage. She defeated with a curb stomp. Ryan, send Hook.
Man, when you say these people beat these inactions, you're really disrespecting the people that they're wrestling against. Robin Renegade, she was on NXT. She had an NXT tryout very recently.
I wasn't at that tryout, right? I don't know who she is.
Yeah, you're demonstrating that. Also, the other person is David Arquette's sister. Come on.
I have their names on the bottom for the people who want to know who these women are or these men are that I call in action because they are just enhancement talent. They have to earn their actual wrestling name in my opinion to get out of the inaction. Just who did it? Leon Ruff did it. He blazed out of inaction. But they're on the bottom.
I just
screen.
don't think you should do that.
Notes and his times. They are labeled there on the bottom for those who are interested who they are.
I just don't think you should do that, Al. It's disrespectful. Now, on to my part. Hook defeated in action. Blake Lee, who was handpicked by QT Marshall, who I assume Hook, of course, trained with QT. So I'm sure these guys are really familiar with each other, which is why they why they were facing each other. Almost a 3-minute match for Hook. He basically took all his inspiration from Roman Reigns. He showed up, he wrecked things, he left. So there you go.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Just real quick. These Goldberg comparisons with Hook, I don't see it. What Goldberg did was a different time, a different whatever. Hook's not beating Goldberg.
Who's making those comparisons?
What's that?
Who's making those comparisons?
I've heard it that the Hook's being compared to Goldberg. I'm like, all right, no, just let Hook be Hook here. Hook will never wrestle. Let's just ease up on this one.
Well, I mean, the booking methodology should be the same, right? You send the inexperienced guy out there to have 3-minute matches that he wins, and until he can wrestle an 8-minute match. Goldberg still can't wrestle an 8-minute match.
We have another face of the Revolution qualifier. This will be entrant number 3 when it's all said and done. It's going to be Powerhouse Hobbs or Dante Martin. John DeConnie. This is an interesting matchup. I don't think this is as easy a layup as Keith Lee or Wardlow will be. I think this is actually somewhat of a toss-up.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, I want to pick Hobbs, but I think if you're legitimately talking about a future face of the company, Dante is probably the guy. Geez, I don't know how he gets it done unless Team Taz tries to interfere and it winds up backfiring. But give me Dante Martin here.
I'm on it's just because it's a ladder match. I think if you want Dante to shine, no one's gonna remember if he beat Powerhouse Hobbs here. Like this is just it's just gonna be whatever. It's on Rampage. For those who can stay up late, great. But it's not. Dante Martin's in a ladder match, and then have him do stuff off the ladder. On a major pay-per-view line. I think that's where you let Dante Martin shine here.
Well, and the other thing is, first of all, if Powerhouse Hobbs were to make it through, then you're looking at having Wardlow, Keith Lee, and Hobbs in the same match, which is sounds crazy to me. I think they have to get a new, reinforce the ring or whatever the expression is. However, if Dante Martin makes it in, then that gives Keith Lee somebody to throw out of the arena in Orlando into the middle of the Magic Kingdom or something. So, So Dante Martin's going to win this. He's beat Hobbs before, I think.
Yeah, how do you have a guy named Powerhouse Hobbs go up against 2 guys who are more powerhouseier than he is?
Sounds like he'd have something to prove now, wouldn't he?
He would. On Dynamite, Brian Joy, and I think Travis, I heard a little girl scream from the Rochester area. Jay White made an appearance.
Yes, he did.
He helped Adam Cole and the Bucks beat up Roppongi Vice. That leaked over into Rampage where the Bucks beat Roppongi Vice. Post-match, Jay White hit the Blade Runner on Trent Beretta. So now we're going to have Jay White versus Trent Beretta this Friday on Rampage. Jay White has a busy weekend because he has a match the next night on an Impact pay-per-view as well, which is live.
Yeah, and he has a match on Thursday as well on Impact Wrestling on Access TV.
Yes.
So
3 days. Is Travis the happiest he's ever been right now?
And on Saturday, he also has a match at the same on New Japan Strong. It's the Open J Challenge or whatever. So he's going to be very busy over the next couple of days. So the interesting thing is Trent. They went out of their way to give Trent a win over Nick Jackson recently on Rampage. So he's on a little bit of a singles winning streak, I guess. But it's going to end with the Switchblade. So
I don't see Jay White losing anything this weekend, John McCown.
Yeah, I would have to agree. You'd definitely give me Jay White in this match, that's for sure.
All right, so real quick, the big news. This is not a news program. I really don't, whatever. But predictions, let's just do it that way because that's what this show is about. Predictions. Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes were both non-signed. They are out of All Elite Wrestling. They are no longer Jacksonville Jaguar fans. They can go back for rooting for the football team, whatever it is.
Probably the Falcons.
Brian Joy, what happens to Cody Rhodes here? NXT commissioner?
I think first order of business, I said it in pre-production, I think the best booking they can probably do right now is they're going to be facing Miz and Maurice at WrestleMania. That's my current thought. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of money at WWE, and that's what the move is. Whether he's going to be in sort of an office role at all, I don't know if he will be, but You're gonna wrestle.
Jason Weston chiming in from New York. I don't know how I feel about these Cody rumors heading back to WWE after he was pretty big in the construction of AEW after leaving WWE on a semi-bitter note just to go back. I mean, like I said, John the Comedy Ryan made the comparison. Like, WWE signed Eric Bischoff, and Bischoff stuck around for years after he spent 83 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no one that they won't take back if the situation is right. And Ryan put together a great match for you there against Miz and Mrs. at WrestleMania. But what in the hell do you do with him after that? And I have zero answers as far as that's concerned.
First Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash. There you go. James Wheeler's.
It's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible. They used to say anything could happen in the WWF. I don't know. Nope. I don't know if that's still the case, but we'll see.
We will sit back and see what happens with Cody. So, gentlemen, we will give you a quick break to go say hello to some loved ones, get some groceries.
But Al, don't forget to update your AEW roster graphic to take those two off, Cody and Brandy.
Oh, yes. I actually, yeah, as you can see, they're still on there. I didn't get a chance to do that before the show started. Yeah. I will. Yeah, they're gone. Along with
you're professional now. Update your graphics.
That's it. And Leo Rush too. I gotta take him down. So, gentlemen, we will see you in a bit as we bring in. Where is Gary? Top of the evening, you handsome bastard. God, I missed you. How you been, Milani?
Not too bad. And can I say, I'll echo what John said at the start. I know how he feels now that you're back at the wheel and that Ryan's here. I know how he felt the last 2 weeks when he was doing it. And he did a great job, but I know that the sweat is off him now. He's back to being the happy chappy he always is. So.
Gary, real quick, any Cody predictions? I want to leave you out of that either. Anything you want to talk about? Show your buddies with Uncle Dave. So.
Maybe he'll go to NXT and he and Brandy can have a match with Gunther and Jimmy. I don't know.
Yes. Stand and deliver, Gary. Yeah. Book it. I love it. The main event this past Thursday, Gary, it finally happened. We've been clamoring for somewhat of a big win for Nathan Frazier for God knows how many weeks now. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm sitting there because he's outnumbered. You got your boy Charlie Dempsey at ringside. I'm like, this is going to happen again. I can't believe it. They're not going to get this guy off the ground. And there it is, top turnbuckle Phoenix Splash.
I know it was great. Actually, the one thing is, I spent the whole time watching the match going, please don't get injured like Blair did. Please don't get injured like Blair did. Because Nathan Frazier does obviously so many big moves. And like when he had the moonsault off the ring steps, which if there'd been fans there, they would be going crazy for. And as you said, we've been waiting on him to pull the trigger with him just to give him the chance for a long, long time. And they had a great match. And obviously built up to Teoman trying to hit like the sliding forearm and get a few pin attempts on him. And it didn't. And as you said, at the end, when you had Charlie Dempsey and Rohan Raja trying to interrupt and interfere, when they didn't, when he hit the Phoenix Splash, I was like, they're going to let him win. He's going to win. And I didn't actually believe it until I heard the bell go ding, ding, ding. I thought, I was still waiting on him to kick out. But it was a great match, and I was really, really pleased. And hopefully, as we've said, they need to be moving them up for a while. And it was a good, decisive win. So pleased to see it.
Yeah, good for him. Glad to see him going. Amal, she defeated Nina Samuels after a hope breaker. So Amal is on her way on her babyface run after that emotional, video package that she put out. That Nina Samuels, kind of laughed at. So good for her. Any thoughts on Amal before we go forward?
No, I mean, it's like we were just saying last week, like Nina Samuels is the sort of person who can take the pinfall any week and come back from it. So I still think Amal needs a bit more ring time, but as you say, the fact that they've turned her and given her that video package, I think you can't help but like her now. So hopefully, now that when fans come back, she'll really start to get over. So.
Okay, Gar. Let me see if I can say this correctly here. All right. Saxton's on a train. Saxton's going to Spain.
Yeah, Saxton's a pain in my what? I'm sorry. They're obviously trying to turn him into Bruiser Brody, and Bruiser Brody's not. Like, yeah.
I
No.
didn't realize you were that just not a fan of Saxon. He's an OG, right? I'm pretty sure he was in that first tournament. He's been around forever.
Well, yeah, I just don't see what I will say I've hated the wee videos. I don't know why they've just galled me so much. I haven't liked them now. And in the ring, he seems to be fine, but I think they do need to tweak the character a wee bit, and they are. But hopefully, this is sort of he and A-Kid.
What's wrong with being a Muppet monster? What's wrong with Sweetums here? This is a great character for Saxon Huxley.
I love that. I'm a big fan of the Muppets. That has to be said. Miss Piggy and Kermit back in the day. What a love triangle that could have been, but if they brought him in, but no. But yeah, A-Kid over him. Yeah,
got the backflip off the top rope into a DDT. That was a pretty impressive move. A-Kid again just shines. Like, he is incredible.
No,
Post-match handshake, which Huxley really didn't want to do, but I think Huxley actually did say it right. Whatever the Reign in Spain thing, whatever. What was that movie or story? What are they ripping off of, guys? I forget. Somebody chime in. Reign in Spain falls manly on the plane. What is that from?
I know that. Well, I know that's used over here in etiquette training. If you're trying to teach people to speak proper English.
Well, that's what that whole movie or whatever was about. Yeah, that's what that whole. I forget what it was. I believe Ryan's looking up he's doing something backstage and looking up on the computer. Hopefully it's that. Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter mixed words with Mustache Mountain in the back after the number one contenders match win. They're going to go at it not this Thursday coming up, but the following Thursday, February 24th. So we will get to that next week, Scar. This week, Kenny Williams did a video promo on Sam Gradwell. Not really sure what he said. I can't speak Kenny Williams. I can't understand. Sorry. But I'm sure it was rotten and villainous because that's what clean-shaven Kenny is. So here we go. We got Kenny and Gradwell. What do you got?
Yeah, I do think I've got Kenny. I am a big Sam Gradwell fan. You know, I have turned the corner on him. And maybe this time next year I'll be the same old Saxon Huxley. But I think that they do. Kenny Williams needs a wee bit just of steam behind him at the minute because he's been off TV for a wee while. So I do think Kenny Williams will take it.
Yeah, it seems like cheat to win. He's going to be just to be villainous and he's the scum of the earth, right? Isn't that his whole thing? Supernova sessions. I got excited for a second. I got disappointed for a second. I was back excited. I was all over the place. The Gallus boys locked Noma and Shaw Samuels in a room and stole the Heritage Cup, and then they hijacked the Supernova sessions. Chaos, Gary. Absolute chaos. Jordan Devlin was the guest. He was mixed into all of it. Again, he still has an issue with Gallus, which was somewhat resolved because they stole Jordan Devlin's Ray-Bans, which Jordan Devlin got back after hitting Wolfgang in the back with a chair, took his Ray-Bans back, and they are going to probably be the main event this Thursday on NXT UK. What do you got?
I've got Devlin going over it. Obviously, they have tried a little bit with Wolfgang to kind of give him a few singles matches, but I would say Devlin to go over. But I do think at some point we'll still get the 6-man off this. I think it sort of feeds itself out of it in a few weeks' time where you have Shah and Noam Dar and Jordan Devlin against the Gallus boys. So I think we'll go there and it'll give Gallus boys their win when that 6-man happens. So
I was missing a lot of comments there. The comment thing kept coming up, and I kept on reading the same thing over and over again. It wasn't scrolling down. So I apologize for those who were commenting. We're just past the topics that. So Gary, that will do it for NXT UK this week. But like I said, you were in the PWP pool. We have 3 cards. We're going to start right next time with NXT and Vengeance Day. We got No Surrender for Impact Wrestling, and we got the Elimination Chamber. You got 3 things to do. Anything you want to throw out for any one of the shows that sticks out to you? Any wild predictions? Those chamber matches, maybe I'm an idiot, but I am having a tough time with those chamber matches.
Yeah, I mean, I changed one of my matches, one of my NXT Vengeance Day matches during the show about 15 minutes ago. I've changed to give JJ and Jessie Jane the win. I have swung that way, so to speak. But the 2 chamber matches, yeah, I'm going to go for Lashley, and I'm gonna go for everybody's favorite spooky doll loving psychotherapist visiting Alexa Bliss to win it as the sixth entrance in. I'm gonna give Alexa to win the women's chamber. So
Yeah, that was a game changer last night.
yeah. But no, going,
All right, Gary,
going for
maybe you
that.
might know this because this is over in kind of your seats too. Will Ospreay's kind of one of your guys, right? Isn't he a UK guy?
Yeah.
Will Ospreay, he was the talk of the town for a while. Heyman offered him a contract with involved like 5 years. I think isn't he still the New Japan champion?
Oh, he's big in New Japan, and in fact, he had a fantastic match recently with Michael Oku in England, who's dating a girl who used to wrestle over here. So, but he's Mr. New Japan, and he's Mr.
But he is Irish though. If you look at us here, Gary, Willie Ospreay. Okada's the character. Thank you, Ryan Joy, for chiming in. So maybe that should have been a Ryan Joy question. But Gary, thank you as always for coming on, staying up with us late. We do appreciate it. I know Ryan and John always have you first. I like it's somebody's got a bad second to get that lead off batter over, and I love the fact that you're the one that always does it. So I appreciate that.
Can I just say, just before I do go, I got very emotional when I realized John Smith wasn't going to be on the night. It was all very... oh, what a shame. Miss you, John.
Gary, I'm sure he will be back next week against pending Johnny's wrestling schedule. That's what Johnny's training his son. Johnny's making sure his son will be the next NXT, or at some point, NXT champion. So, Gary, have yourself a wonderful evening. See you later. Bring back in Ryan Joy. Bring back in John DeConnie.
Let me clear up this Bill Ospreay.
I guess I missed when Okada beat Willie Ospreay.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom. So he's been wrestling for Warrior Wrestling, and he's the current champion. He's actually having a heck of a year. He's had many match of the year candidates already. Over in Japan, he wrestles on Strong. He wrestles for Warrior. He's basically been in the States. Japan has still has really serious regulations for COVID and stuff. So it doesn't really make sense for a lot of these guys to travel back and forth. So he hasn't been on the news a lot, but he is still very busy.
All right. Last Tuesday night, John DeConnie, we had a main event, the Women's Championship on the line. Our forever champion actually got a challenge against Mandy Rose. Normally, he's been doing three-ways lately. I kind of missed that out of her.
Yeah, it's a shame when that doesn't come to fruition. But this one was a one-on-one between Kaylee Ray and Mandy, and it was heavily adjusted by what happened earlier in the program between Gigi, JC, Indy, and Persia backstage. They started brawling. They eventually got separated. Then Indy and Persia jumped Gigi and JC again during Mandy's walk to the ring. And we were told that all four had been escorted out of the building. So, okay, fantastic. We're going to get a nice, fair one-on-one. Well, it was only about a 9-minute match, and about 8.5 minutes into it, JC showed back up, distracted the ref. Gigi would push Kaylee Ray off the top buckle. She landed, she took a bad bump. Mandy would follow with a running knee to the face, and she would get the 1-2-3. And afterwards, Toxic Attraction would start a 3-on-1 beatdown of Kaylee Ray, and Io Shirai would come out and make the save and help Kaylee Ray clear the ring. So, do we have a future contender for Mandy Rose, or do Io and Kaylee Ray enter the Dusty Cup and make things real interesting?
That was the big thing, is that Zoe Stark was trying to find a partner for Io. Io just wants somebody just as crazy, as she is. Zoe still can't compete. I guess her knee is still, not 100%. She hasn't cleared, not waiver. She hasn't cleared medical clears.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be Dakota Kai. I thought that would have been fun to see Io and Dakota, but I guess now that she went out, I guess Kaylee Ray is crazy Scottish women. I guess Gary would know that. Crazy Scots.
Certainly crazy enough.
Speaking of Dakota Kai, she lost to Sabre about Dakota's damn luck. What the hell was that? After a patent dropkick followed by a side suplex, that upset me. Nothing against Sabre, but Dakota, what the hell's going on right now? Hopefully this whole crazy thing is just, this is going to cause her to go crazier. Maybe, I don't know, but goddamn. Staying in the women's division, Tiffany Stratton defeated Wendy Cho after a top rope maneuver that does not have a name yet. Senga, this is my first visual of Senga, I guess, who was with Grayson Waller. Did some research on Senga. Did you know that in Hindi, Senga actually means Braun Strowman? LA Knight defeated Senga after Grayson Waller exposed the top turnbuckle, and Knight threw Senga right into it, followed by a neck breaker. And I guess with this going into tonight, John DeConnie, there was a violation in a restraining order I guess Grayson Waller had on LA Knight. I've been at it for a hot minute. I guess LA Knight's going to jail tonight. Deserves some hard times.
Yeah. So Waller attacked Knight after the match, and Knight would eventually just, turn it around and hit him real quick with blunt force trauma. But it was Waller who initiated the contact. So on their way out of the building, you thought, okay, Knight beats Senga. He's going to get his match with Waller. They're interviewing Waller on his way out, and he's like, I'll see him next week when I show up with the cops and he's going to jail. So there's rumor that we have a match that's going to be added to this card. It's not official, so we're not really going to talk about it, I suppose. But certainly we got more coming with LA Knight and Mr. Grayson Waller.
Thoughts. Here we go. Thoughts on NXT Nikita, possibly a women's type power type wrestler.
Yeah, Nikita Lyons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw her and I'm like, okay, now I know why Nia's gone. And I know why they don't need her anymore. I guess the verdict will be out on her momentarily. So here we go. We're switching the graphic. Also an announcement: the Women's Dusty Cup. I believe it'll begin next Tuesday night. They announced it 2 weeks from last 2 weeks, so if my math is correct,
yep,
that's next week. So we're going to go into Vengeance Day. Let me just get the banner up here. There's the card on the bottom. Here are our standings going into it. The overall standings, Ryan Joyce still sitting on a 100-point lead over John DeConnie, who has 5 more wins than Ryan. Who is booking this point system, John Smith? What the hell is that? I'm right behind John DeConnie. John Smith about 50 points behind me with the amount of points that are coming up in the next couple, especially with WrestleMania. That's not a safe.
So this is the league right now. NXT is actually what's determining the whole standings for the league. I have 100 points up on the overall, I think. Oh, this is the overall. I thought you were showing the NXT standings.
Now that's Gary sitting at 999. That's here are the NXT standings. Gary and I in a rat race. 18 to 920. I'm up at 1 point on him. Ryan Joy about 15 points behind Gary. Travis, John Smith, John DeConnie.
It's not that many matches, John. Don't worry.
No, there's only 6 shows counted. So that's where we're going with that.
I have
here's the scoring. It is just a Tuesday night special. It is not I guess what used to be takeovers. They're worth more points. Stand and Deliver will still be. I think that is still happening. So I think Stand and Deliver that'll be the big points for NXT. 5 points for the NXT title match. 3 points for all the title matches. 1 point for the non-title match. 5 points if you go. Henning. Last Tuesday night in the Dusty Cup, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the Creed brothers defeated 2-time finalists Grizzled Young Veterans to advance to the Dusty Final after Brutus pinned Zach Gibson. Crowd pop for the Creeds. How about that? MSK defeated Malik Blade and Edris Anafi to advance after a heart attack blockbuster by Anafi. Hell of a run by Blade. It was on Edris Anafi. It was that what do they call it, John DeConnie? That
end transmission.
Thank you. It was on Edris Anafi. I apologize. Hell of a run by Malik and Edris. Good work, boys. So here are The last here's the teams that have won this thing. MSK won it last year. They're looking to become 2-time winners. The Broserweights 2 years ago. That was fun before the pandemic hit. Aleister Black and Ricochet, the Undisputed Era, the night Roderick Strong shocked the world. Undisputed Era, that was fun. They weren't even in the tournament and they won the whole thing. That was hysterical. The Authors of Pain defeated TM 6-1, and then our first ever winners were Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. We have MSK. We have the Creed brothers. Is it me or does Brutus Creed really look like Walter or Gunther's younger brother? Like, they have to be related. I think Walter is a Creed. Anyway, John DeCon, you laughed at the joke.
Yeah, no, I think you have a very good point there. Just the way things are going in NXT 2.0, I would be really surprised. You can't be shocked if a former set of champions win, but I would be at least mildly surprised if this was not all set up to put the Creed brothers over big time. I'm going with the Creeds.
James Wheeler, I like where your head's at. Get Zaya Brookside overseas. I like where your head's at. Ryan Joy.
So, yeah, I've got the Creed brothers as well. Winning the Dusty Classic doesn't necessarily bode well for your WWE career. It doesn't look like half the people that have won have been future endeavored or released.
Yeah, you say that Samoa Joe, that the Authors of Pain, the TM61 was in the final.
Aleister Black, Undisputed Era.
Black. Gary's fellow Irishman, Rick O'Shea.
Oh, he's still with the company, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Creed brothers as well. I just think this is the direction the entire brand is going for.
Yeah.
You can't have the Creeds not do it. And then that sets up, especially if they're getting cheered. I wanted to make it a point to show, to say that the Creeds got a pop after their win last Tuesday. So now you put them against Brutus's cousin or brother, Gunther, and Imperium. I think that's actually a good matchup. Maybe if they can kind of stretch it out, they'll stand and deliver so the Creeds get the titles there. I think we got a nice little thing. And then you can have, Roddy and Walter have a history already, right? Didn't Walter go for the Cruiserweight Championship at one point or something like that? So, yeah, that will go with the Creeds. Pete Dunne defeated Draco Anthony after a bitter end. D'Angelo tried to interfere with the crowbar. Didn't work. Post-match attack by D'Angelo didn't work either. Pete Dunne then offered a weaponized cage match in which Tony Ganesh accepted. So a weaponized cage match with Pete Dunne. Oh, that John DeConnie, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
No, absolutely not. This is going to be brutal. This is going to be cringeworthy. But once again, I got to fall back on the same old stuff. I got to think this is meant to make Tony D'Angelo come out on top because, what are you doing with Pete next? Pete's been working he's been working dark matches or main event and whatnot. Yeah. So I got to think he's moving on. And in the classic form, you would put somebody over on your way out. So give me Tony D'Angelo, as much as it hurts my heart to say that.
Ryan Joy.
My heart's not allowing it. I'm not picking Tony D here. Tony D'Angelo already got the win over Pete Dunne, and I think this is going to be Pete Dunne's revenge. I think a weaponized cage match used to be called an asylum match, right?
Yeah, back in the old TNA days. Yeah, an asylum match. I think Raven Creed. Right? Raven's House of Horrors or something like that. Wasn't that a thing back then?
I was thinking of Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. Wasn't that called an asylum match?
Yeah, when Jericho destroyed Ambrose's plant. What was the plant's name again?
Oh, yeah. You're right. It had a name. I can't remember the name.
Mitch? I think was it Mitch?
Something like that, yeah.
Sounds about right.
Unfortunately, I'm with John DeConnie. This is the one match I think that we were going to be all split on. I think we're all going to be even flow the same way. I got Bish Kadesh. I got Tony D on this one.
Fair.
Tony D, this could be. I wouldn't say a push where this isn't a burial for Pete. Pete Dunne's just unburial, but like this is a shove in the right direction. If he wins a weaponized cage match against Pete Dunne, like that's huge for his character as an Italian Mafia guy, if he loses a weapons match, like, he's got, those people some answer to. Nunzio's in the back watching. Tony Marinara. Disco Inferno, I believe, was in this Mafia thing. So there are a lot of people. I think this would be best. This would be good for Tony Day. And then if Pete Dunne moves up, that would be fun too. Toxic Attraction bringing up Duke Hudson thing to Indy and Persia. They ended up brawling. But I feel like that's the thing here in the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Duke Hudson wishing Indy Hartwell luck next week. He went out of his way to just interrupt one of the promos, and it's just like, hey, good luck to you. It's nice to see his hair's growing back. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm going with Gigi and JC here. I kind of feel like it's time for them to lose the tag titles, but I'm not feeling this tag title change here. So I'm going with Gigi and JC. And I guess you could apply the same rules you applied to the past two matches.
John Khan.
I'm going to go with a title change here just because I really want to see Indy hold those titles again. And quite frankly, I haven't liked the single match Gigi and JC have put on.
Fair enough.
So I think if you're, an observer of this from backstage, you're saying to yourself, they can continue to be Mandy's thugs without the belts. Let's move the belts off of them. So give me Indy and Persia in this one.
James Wheeler's agreeing with Ryan. I'm going to agree with Ryan as well. I think this is Duke. This is leading to Duke Hudson and Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis still is under contract, correct? Like, he hasn't been around. He got injured, right? I think.
Yeah, he's been on the
cleared. I think we're going towards Duke and Dexter, so I think it'll be fun. But I think it's going to be Duke costing them the championships here. So Toxic Attraction will win. But then another thing I noticed last night on Raw when they were promoting Vengeance Day, it was all JC and Gigi. It was all Toxic Attraction. I think Vince really likes these girls with these belts here. So it's a safe bet here. I'll go with Toxic Attraction. Carmelo Hayes was getting a shape up before his title defense against Cameron Grimes. He shot a promo. I don't speak jive. I have no idea what the hell he said. John DeConnie, who do you got?
Man, I really want to see Grimes take this belt here, but Jesus, if anybody down in NXT 2.0 is a character that's main roster ready, it's Mr. Grimes, and Carmelo's just really good with that belt. So I'm going to say he retains here.
I got Carmelo Hayes as well, Ryan. But the thing is, like Cameron, this was, I don't think this is a lock only because Cameron Grimes, this was his whole thing. There's no more talking about green. It's all about talking gold. This is a character change for Grimes. I
was surprised.
He can wrestle Hayes is a great. I think Hayes is a great wrestler. I think Grimes is a great. I think this is going to steal the show tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it. But I just don't. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. This should probably be the best match on the show.
Yeah.
Now, Pete Dunne and Tony D'Angelo might be a car wreck, right? So that might be fun, might be what we remember, but this match should be the best one. I was surprised to see Cameron Grimes get programmed into this match because I really thought that coming out of that whole $1 million championship thing and the whole angles that they did and everything, I really thought Cameron would be going against Braun Breaker. I didn't think he'd be wrestling in the North American Championship level. I'm not picking him to win the belt. Carmelo Hayes, he's the A-champ. He's going to keep the belt. And somehow they're going to have Cameron Grimes lose this and then go wrestle Breaker. I've still got that in my head. So
Jay Nate's on the Cameron Grimes string. There we go. And then James will go, too damn it. There we go. And then one last match. This was a little bit shocking last Tuesday night. Braun Breaker, there was a contract signing, was ready to fight. I was interrupted by Dolph Ziggler, which was a little weird. And Ziggler played it great. He just kept on rubbing his fingers. I can work Tuesdays now. He's getting paid extra to do it. I'm sure he wasn't, but that's a fun little thing. Ziggler apparently works Tuesdays now. Ziggler wants the NXT title. Crowd wants a triple threat. Here comes Tommaso Ciampa. Santos Escobar is pissed. I am too, because let's put the graphic up there. It's Santos Escobar and Braun Breaker for the NXT title. And Santos just got completely overlooked right here, because now we're getting Dolph Ziggler and Braun Breaker potentially with a Tommaso Ciampa triple threat at Stand and Deliver. Like, I can't believe. What else do I know? Ciampa and Ziggler started fighting. Bleep show ensues. Legado puts Braun Breaker through a table. I got Braun Breaker. There's no way in hell they're taking it off him after he fought so hard to get it. I think we're all in agreement there. But what are they doing with Ziggler? And then Ciampa showed up on Raw last night. We'll get to that. Ryan Joy, heads or tails? What do you got?
Yeah, so Braun Breaker. But yeah, I was wondering, maybe this is like a creative way to bring Ciampa up. They've had him wrestling on Main Event a bunch. You bring Ziggler down. He does gets involved, gets kind of worked into some of the angles a little bit. Then you have Ciampa on Raw, and maybe when this all shakes out, Ciampa stays on Raw, and maybe that's the whole end game of this whole thing. So that's the outcome I'm looking at, hopefully.
Yeah, Ziggler's not in the match tonight, Jay. So
yeah.
John DeConnie.
Yeah, I'm going with Breaker retaining here, but yeah, I agree that I'm not even. I don't know. I see more it being Ciampa and Ziggler, like Ryan just said. I don't know if Ziggler ever winds up even facing Breaker.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
it winds up just being a way to take Ciampa up to one of the main rosters.
I think this is a great move to put Santos Escobar against Braun Breaker, because Santos is going to shine tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Breaker's going to win. Santos is going to shine tonight. This is going to be like, oh my God, Braun Breaker had a 4-1-star match.
So there's 5 matches, so one of them is probably going to be on the shorter side. I wouldn't expect it to be this one, though.
No. Probably the women's tag title. That match doesn't need to be any longer than 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
John Smith, our senior NXT 2.0 correspondent. He is not with us tonight. As I mentioned, he is off, making sure Johnny is training his son Johnny, Jay-Z Smith, as I think his wrestling name will be. That's what I'm calling him, because his middle name is Zachary, so it's Jay-Z. We got a wrestling match, amateur wrestling match. I believe they're out in Nutley, New Jersey, where Balls Mahoney is from. So let's see a couple more comments here. There we go. No, I didn't think they added them. So Santos is started strike. We got Wheeler here. Breaker retains, then Dolph Ziggler versus Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship at WrestleMania.
Wow. As a makeup match for Roman versus Brock.
All right, James Wheeler. There you go. So we're gonna take off our NXT hats, and we will go.
Which one?
Probably. Like I said, I've been out of the loop here. My January was just absolutely disastrous, and I noticed that I was kind of lacking on my pro wrestling pick'em site. I haven't updated the matches. I haven't heard about the Chamber or anything. So I look up No Surrender, and my jaw hit the goddamn ground. So actually, I went back to make sure I catch it. I didn't fast forward anything. I watched Impact cover to cover the last 2 weeks. I can't even put into words how excited I am for No Surrender, for Impact Wrestling. I guess maybe Impact versus AEW, Ryan, for your 100th episode. Maybe that was a little far-fetched. I like Impact versus Ring of Honor as a feud. I like Impact, or at least Violent by Design versus the Bullet Club. We're going to get into all that. I think this is just absolutely gold all the way around. And it starts, Ryan, with my Jersey girl, not my Jersey girl, it's actually Steve Macklin's Jersey girl. He made that official this past week. Congratulations. But Deonna Purrazzo had an open challenge for anybody to challenge for either one of her, either the Ring of Honor Women's Championship or the Anus and Anus Champion, right? The AAA Anus and Anus. Anus to Anus, sorry, championship. Yeah, sure. Was it AAA Anus and Anus? I don't know. Who answered it, Ryan? Because it wasn't in action. I know this one.
Santana Garrett answered the challenge, and she lost. I wasn't going to recap this one at all.
Okay, no problem. James Wood, he's clarifying. If they decide to go title for title, which God damn, I hope they don't. So this would be the other main title that they could have on WrestleMania.
Oh, I got it. So Deonna Purrazzo defeats Santana Garrett, retains her Ring of Honor Women's Championship. It was like a weird roll-up that she used, transitioning out of her Fujiwara. So there's your there's your match.
Yeah, it says stemming from the Fujiwara armbar pinning combination. It was a pinning combination, but it is actually the most technical term you could have for the Raw roll-up. So Deonna Purrazzo's on the list. There we go. Bang. NXT got off scot-free. I think AEW too. They both got. This is our first one of the episode.
Yes.
Deonna Purrazzo. There you go. Caleb got busted. I was absolutely dying. Caleb got busted taking photos of the inspiration, which in this world is equivalent to cheating on the influence. This is getting good. Great manipulative tactics by Cassie and Jesse. Caleb has 4 women fighting over him to beat a photographer. This is absolutely going to be amazing. Giselle Shaw last week on BTI, which stands for Being the Elite, for those who don't speak. Giselle Shaw made her debut appearance on BTI after an interview. Told Gina to switch sides with her because that's okay. So Lady Frost was on BTI. Lady Frost won. She got interrupted by Giselle Shaw. Giselle Shaw went on the main Impact show. There we go. Told Gina to switch sides with her because Gia's bad side was offending her. Very good. So we got Giselle Shaw, we got like Tiffany Stratton, and then Zaya Brookside, not as bad, but it's all fun little prissy characters. This is so great. So they're actually going to fight next week. We don't have a graphic for them, but we got Lady Frost, Ryan Joy. Actually, you pick this. You saw this already, right? So let's go. You saw it already. You were full already. All right. So Ryan, John DeConnie. Lady Frost just got signed, and she was actually involved in the historic Ultimate X match. And you're going to put her in a match now with somebody who's making her debut with probably with a name like Giselle. You know, Tom got it right. You know, like let's just leave it like that.
Yeah, I don't really know what Giselle Shaw looks like in the ring. So, like this could absolutely be one of those cases where I imagine they're kind of high on Lady Frost, so she could just beat her, and because Giselle Shaw is just there to look good. But I don't know. Giselle Shaw could be a monster in the ring, even though she comes off as more worried about her looks. I'm going to go with Shaw here just because it's her debut match, so I'm assuming she's going to get a W, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it to go the other way.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Lady Frost by disqualification here. I think he got into something to save both of them. I don't think you can have one, maybe a Raw roll-up. A Raw roll-up would be good, but I don't know. Like, it's at her first match, you're going to debut with a Raw roll-up, hit the DQ, and maybe settle it another time. I don't know. So everything else going forward with Impact is related to No Surrender. So we'll put that up there. Let's switch to boom. Got the card got going on the bottom, right? Nope. There we go. So No Surrender. Here are our Impact standings going forward. Ryan Joy with a 5-point lead over John DeConnie. He's got a 4-point lead over me. 10 points over John Smith. Travis and Gary there down the bottom. They're looking to crack the 300-point mark for this. Just like Vengeance Day, this is an Impact Plus show, so it doesn't have the major points. I believe Impact is done with their major points. I think this is the last thing that's going to get scored unless Tommy Dreamer decides to be funny and air a show on WrestleMania weekend, the afternoon of WrestleMania Night 1. So this might be it. So we got 5 points for the Impact Championship, 3 points for all other title matches, 1 point for the non-title matches. Interpromotionals get a 1-point bump, and there are a bunch of those. Perfect pay-per-view. If you go heading, you get a 5-point bump.
I think Impact will have a March and an April show. I think they are going to run a
Rebellion.
I still think they'll do an Impact Plus special.
Like Hardcore Justice was
something like that.
They have Sacrifice booked for March 5th.
There we go.
There we go. We have Sacrifice.
So we got at least that.
I stand corrected. See, that's why we don't spread this issue. Happy day.
That's why we're here, Al.
There's John Smith. John Smith chiming. Hey, Johnny, good friends.
He's wrong though. It could very well mean the return of Stardust.
Brian, you don't know that.
No, you don't. You don't know that it's not hit though.
You don't know that. He's just let's let John have his moment here. He's been waiting for this for like 3 years now.
Okay.
John have his moment. And unfortunately, Cody Rhodes wasn't the only one who didn't get a contract signed. Unfortunately, what I thought was storyline and a pretty good one turned into reality here. Josh Alexander started the show with an in-ring promo, extremely pissed off The really long story short, and then Josh Alexander, big Connor. Where the hell did Connor come from? How about that? What forbidden door opened and let in Connor from the Ascension?
Right.
And she's not playing around anymore. Post match, Alexander reapplied the ankle lock. Security came down. Well, then D'Amore came out. They had this really heart-to-heart moment. D'Amore's like, listen, he sent them home for whatever stupid storyline reason it was. And it came out about 3 hours ago that Josh Alexander's contract is now up, which actually eliminates his work visa. So not only does he not get a contract, he cannot stay in this country anymore, and he has to go back to Canada. So Josh Alexander actually had to be replaced. They were doing this. I guess they thought this might happen. This was taped. How long ago were you there, Ryan, for the Fort Lauderdale tapings?
It was like January 20th or so.
Yeah, it was for your birthday, right? When what's his face, Josh Matthews did your birthday grant for you, right?
Yeah, that's true. He did.
So they got together. So there was a tag team match last week between Matt Taven and Mike Bennett against Rhino Rich Swann. Taven and Bennett, I don't know more. They got the win after Maria Fuji. Rhino behind the ref's back. Post-match attack by Macklin, who's pitching on Team Impact. So Macklin's going to be the one. They decided to fill in for Josh Alexander. So going forward into this week on Thursday night, Ryan Joy, I don't know if you saw all of these. I think this is the fourth match. I think everybody's now fought each other at least once, including Josh Alexander. This is the final rubber match that goes into this 10-man tag team war. Pretending to see Chris Sabin's face behind the No Surrender logo. You have Team Impact against Honor No More, Ryan Joy. And if Team Impact wins, Honor No More is gone from Impact Wrestling. And this kind of makes it a little, you kind of want them to stay, but now Impact, with this forbidden door, they're getting very dangerous on their roster number here.
Yeah, that's true.
I know a couple of guys are leaving, like Rohit Raju is gone. Luster Legend, I just found out was gone. I almost shed a tear over that one. I know Fala Ba, where's Fala Ba? Swingers Palace.
Yeah, things are getting very busy over at Impact Wrestling. I'm gonna pick the Honor No More crew. I don't know if it's made your radar yet, but apparently PCO did sign a contract with Impact, so he's hanging around, even if the rest of them don't. But they're all finding work elsewhere. OGK is working on NWA and stuff. So I'm picking Honor No More.
Yeah, John Connie, what happened last Thursday also, I guess originally Eddie Edwards, Sabin, Rhino, and Rich Swann, they actually wanted Jonathan Gresham to be their partner. He was laid out in the back, or was he?
Yeah, I thought they were going to do something interesting with Gresham, like maybe put him on the team, and then he winds up turning on them. Instead, he winds up not being available because he was jumped, although we didn't see any evidence of that. We just saw him laid out. So that's how Macklin got in there. But, so it's going to be interesting to see if he plays any kind of role at this Impact Plus special. I almost said pay-per-view. But I'm going to go with Honor No More. It just seems like they didn't bring them around just for these couple of weeks, which probably were taped, over the course of 48 hours. I'm sure that they're going to be around for a little while, maybe up until it's time to restart Ring of Honor. So give me the Honor No More faction.
Yeah, they can do something fun because the Rebellion. When is Ring of Honor starting up? Probably maybe like a week or two before Rebellion happens. So maybe Impact invades Ring of Honor as well. Something will cross over that way.
Ring of Honor has their next show, which will be the first since they laid everybody off. Will be WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, is that okay? So April, the first week in April, and then Rebellion's at the end of the month. So maybe not exactly the shore of the story here. I don't particularly care. Yes, John Connie.
Yes, give me all of this.
Yes.
There is going to be some big men flying, and I have to assume it's going to end with a tsunami, and give me Jonah in this one.
Yeah, Ryan, I love Tarus. Tarus is so freaking good, but he's just not supposed to win this. Yes, I know you got that. Yes.
It's actually, I haven't said anything, but I'm actually Black Taurus.
You're Taurus.
I gotta go. Yeah.
Taurus.
So I told you I was at the tapings.
Yeah, it's gotta be Jonah, right? Jonah's gotta get. He's gotta dust off that Josh Alexander loss. Now that Josh isn't there.
Yeah, Jonah for sure.
Too soon. Matt Cardona backstage interview discussing his digital media world title victory the week prior, saying in 2022 he has to do things differently. He's begging Jordan to be ready for their rematch at No Surrender because he's always ready. So they had the rematch signed. I guess he still is, the internet champion. He's also the digital media champion. Is he still the GCW champion? I saw him with that belt, but he just recently won the NWA championship from Larry the Cable Guy. What was his name?
Trevor Murdoch.
Trevor Murdoch. Yeah, there you go. I know.
Which has not aired on television, so it's sort of like the WWE Intercontinental Championship right now.
I don't know.
Been announced.
We'll talk about that one.
What's your question? Your question is whether or not Jordan Grace will get the title back. No, I don't think so. I don't think the new NWA champ is going to be dropping a match to Jordan Grace.
John the Con.
I would have to agree with that. I think Matt Cardona retains his worldwide web chip.
Yeah, he might as well. Cardona's, everything's been going around with him. He's the greatest independent wrestler ever, apparently, in a matter of like a year of being released by WWE and signing his Impact. He's been on fire. Like, why put out that flank? That'd be stupid. So give me Matt Cardona. Now we get to the fun stuff. The Bullet Club in-ring promo interrupted by Violent by Design, and everything was just gold. It's all gold. They're going to have a 6-man tag team match. Jay White and the Guerrillas of Destiny going against Violent by Design this Thursday. And I'm missing the graphic for Eric Young and Jay White. So I apologize for that. I don't know if they deleted it by accident.
Spent good time making it.
So I know it's all right. So who do you got in this one, Jonathan? We got Eric Young. We got Jay White. And an absolute masterpiece.
Yeah, I don't see Jay White losing while he's over here visiting. So give me Jay White, Eric Young. Nobody cares whether or not Eric Young wins or loses. He's a lunatic. He's thoroughly entertaining, and he can absolutely go. Jay White will beat him, though.
Yeah, so it's going to be a busy weekend for Jay White. He's going to be on fire. So, Brian Joy, there you go, pal.
Thank you. You might want to get that Good Brothers one ready. The Good Brothers versus the Guerrillas of Destiny.
I got it. I'm ready. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So I'm going to go with Jay White. Like you said, it's a busy weekend for Jay, and I don't think he's dropping any matches.
I guess I got too crazy with the deletions here. So, yeah, then in that same Bullet Club in-ring promo, interrupted by Violent by Design, the Good Brothers eventually came out, and that promo and the back and forth with them and Tama Tonga, again, just so good. I am excited. Give me the Good Brothers. Give me the Guerrillas of Destiny. I don't know if you heard a scream from Jersey when the GOD when they were announced on Impact Wrestling a couple weeks ago. This is going to be great, and I'm going with the Guerrillas of Destiny. I'm not betting against them while I get to watch them. And it has to be Karl Anderson with the pin. Yes, I know.
Naturally. I think you hit on all of it right there. I think Karl leads the pin. The Guerrillas of Destiny are your new Impact World Tag Team Champions.
And I hope they keep them till Rebellion, Ryan Joy. It's 2 months. That's what one weekend of Impact taping for them.
Yeah, exactly. I have God in this as well. I mean, I think it's not crazy for Impact to let those belts go. FinJuice had them for a while, but the Good Brothers have held those belts for quite some time now.
Yeah,
and they really haven't had a whole heck of a lot of defenses. So I give them to God and let God run around, do some other tapings with them and stuff, so that they can get that Impact name exposed a little bit outside of the company. So yeah, God.
There you go. Chelsea Green defeated Mickie James in a non-title match via disqualification after Chelsea used a cutter, which apparently could only be used by Tasha Steelz, who was doing commentary during the match. So Tasha threw a trash can at Chelsea Green, and Savannah slew-footed her, causing disqualification. So this week on Thursday, we have a tag team match. Chelsea Green and Mickie James going against Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans. But then Saturday night, we have the Knockouts Women's Championship. Mickie and Tasha Steelz winning the first ever Women's Ultimate X match to earn this opportunity. John the Kind, does it get squandered?
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid that it does here. I see probably Tasha and Savannah winning that tag match by beating Chelsea. And then I think Mickie is going to retain against Tasha. That's going to be my pick.
Ryan, she already beat one Jersey girl, Mickie James. She already beat one Jersey girl twice. I don't know. I kind of hope Mickie sticks around. I had Tasha. I switched it back to Mickie only because I think that if Rebellion's coming up, I know there's still a show in between, but I just think you need something. You need Mickie at Rebellion.
Yeah, if this was Deonna Purrazzo had never lost the title to Mickie James or whatever, I might be picking Tasha Steelz over Deonna here, but I don't think Tasha over Mickie. I think you're right. Mickie James is the bigger name. She's got the belt. She's wrestling other places with the belt, so it's help like the WWE Royal Rumble. So I think Mickie wins here, and Tasha Steelz maybe down the road, but not here.
John Conn, you got you on this one yet or no? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm already on the Mickie James bandwagon here.
All right. And then in our main event, the world title match. Well, last Thursday, W. Morrissey defeated Brian Myers in a no disqualification match after 2 power bombs on the thumb pack. Man. Post-match attack by Moose on Morrissey, getting some payback from the hotel attack the week prior. Looks like Morrissey's on crack in that picture, but I don't think he will be legally in the match. John the Connie, are we going to take it off Moose this quickly?
I do not believe so. I do not believe that the Beavis and Butthead on steroids is going to take this one. No, I got Moose retaining.
Yeah, I got Moose as well. Ryan Joy, you want to make it unanimous because John Smith's got him also.
Moose.
There we go.
There's a lot of work put behind Morrissey for this build, but no, Moose.
If this was Rebellion, I might take him. If this is just an Impact Plus.
Yeah.
John Smith, he's got Moose, he's got Mickie James retaining, he's got Good Brothers retaining, Jay White, Matt Cardona retaining, Honor No More sticking around, with Jonah beating Black Taurus. Taurus is on fire. Before we get to the Elimination Chamber, we got a comment chiming in. Here we go. I like it. There you go. You gotta love those spam comments, right? At least spam is paying attention to us. I think it's a tip of the cap to us. That bots are going out of their way to make sure they spam our comment section. So we're doing something right, boys. We're doing something.
This actually says in I think that's Klingon translated into the English language that says, "Listen to that Ryan Joy guy. He knows what he's talking about."
Yes.
So that's what it actually is.
So before we get into the Elimination Chamber, let's about Friday night. John the Connie, the New Day's back together again, as I'm sure you've discussed. Big E has been shipped to SmackDown with Woods, I guess, on IR for the time being. Our Royal King, Royal Highness. Looks like New Day is getting at it, and we have another check mark here.
Yes, indeed. That's it. We had Los Lotharios. They unveiled a new wrinkle to their gimmick where they give a lucky fan a kiss on the kiss cam on their way to the ring. And this week, they actually got it done in the ring when they faced the New Day. Kofi attempted a sunset flip pin, but Angel's momentum kept him rolling through, and he jumped back into Kofi's guard for the roll-up win at 10 minutes, 45 seconds. So, cha-ching, raw roll-up, counter.
Talk one for SmackDown. Natalya defeated Aaliyah with a sharpshooter. Aaliyah actually made it to the bottom ropes, but since there were no DQs during that match, the referee didn't break the hold, and Aaliyah had no choice but to tap out. Post-match attack by Natalya, thwarted by the great protector Xia Li, who this time took our advice and sprinted down the aisle to help Aaliyah instead of doing the thing, which is cool. But when somebody is in trouble, you cannot be doing your martial arts expedition on your way down the aisle. So Xia Li, she was listening to the Essential Wrestling podcast. Way to go. Good job. The great protector. In other news, Happy Corbin defeated Cesaro after the end of days. Ryan Joy, can you confirm that Baron Corbin is actually undefeated since hitting the jackpot?
I'll look it up.
There we go. That's what they're saying. Undefeated since he hit the jackpot. So, coming up this Friday night on SmackDown, last Friday on the Insane Talk Show, where Sammy's guests were Rick Boogs, who he electrocuted with a trick microphone, and the Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, who he Lula kicked. So Sammy with a one-up here. They are going to go at it for the Intercontinental Championship. Sammy, I believe, he won a gauntlet, I think, to earn this opportunity. Where is it? There's video going around that Sami Zayn won this match. I'm going to call BS on this one. Now, Sammy, the Great Liberty, there's been some theories with him. I don't think this was John Nakani. I don't think this was a real tape. I think this is another conspiracy against Sami Zayn. I think Nakamura's going to win here.
Well, I am ignorant to that tape that's floating around, but I just really think that they're not doing anything with Shin as the champion, so why wouldn't you put it on Sammy and make it really, really entertaining? Because Sammy is just so entertaining, and then he can drop it to Boogs before WrestleMania to get the belt out of the way for when Sammy fights Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania.
So, see, here we go. See, this is, again, we don't know this. This is all, I think, a conspiracy against Sami Zayn, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I think WWE announced it, though. So, like, you know.
But who are they? They're the biggest conspirators against Sami Zayn. You can't trust anybody here, Ryan.
Well, here's what I can tell you about Baron Corbin.
Oh, good. Back to.
Yeah. The last singles match he lost was SummerSlam to Big E. But he lost on January 28th in a tag match. So
I don't count that. That's singles.
I guess they don't count that.
All jokes aside, I believe it was this guy a while ago who said the next person who challenges Shinsuke Nakamura was going to beat him for it. So going about last night on the Monday Night Raw, everything else on SmackDown leads into the Elimination Chamber, and we will get to it. But last night on Raw, paper sticking together. Really dry down here in my studio. Very dry. I got paper sticking together. COVID. I don't want to get COVID on the paper if I had. John the County, the Street Profit, and the Dirty Dogs. And then here we go with Dolph Ziggler and Tommaso Ciampa. Again, here we go.
Yeah, we had Ciampa sitting in with commentary. At one point, he would throw his drink in Dolph Ziggler's face. And unfortunately, Rude was paying more attention to that than he was to Angelo Dawkins, who would hit the anointment, that big spine buster he does, which set him up, of course, for the From the Heavens splash by Montez Ford and the 1-2-3 for a sub 3-minute victory for the Street Profits. And then afterwards, Ciampa would eat a super kick from Dolph Ziggler, who would then scurry away.
And again, Street Profits doing a great job letting us know. They always put them on first, and they always tell us what's going on the whole rest of the show. Like I got my whole Raw lineup out of the Street Profits before they go on there. They do a good job at that. The Arcade Broga party looked like fun. John the Connie, you were a frat guy, right? How'd you like the Broga party?
I mean, who doesn't love a Broga party? Come on.
The Alpha Academy apparently didn't. They finally put an end to it after attacking Riddle. And then everybody bailed, like the cops showed up, leaving the host of the party to take all the blame. Everybody bailed on that. That was such a frat party, house party move by everybody else involved in that whole thing. Anyway, Riddle will get to his licks in later on. We'll get to that. Valentine's Day date amongst best friends turned into Tozawa, again making me laugh my ass off. Tozawa's great. Reggie, just like Nikki Ash a couple of weeks ago with Rhea, got put in the friend zone, so Reggie, just like Nikki, didn't like that, so he rolled up Dana to regain the 24/7 title, and she got stuck with the bill. Good job by Reggie. Great win by Reggie and all of the men who have ever been put in the friend zone before. Ryan, what does it say when one guy can beat former tag team champions?
Well, I don't know what you're talking. He just barely squeaked it out. I mean, it was Omos versus Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, like you said, the former tag team champions, going by the name of the Hurt Business right now. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, almost just barely squeaked this one out. He was able to, I don't know, kind of like shift his weight a little bit and then hit that big choke bomb and roll up Cedric for the win. It was a roll up, right? I mean, that's how he did it.
I can't wait to the day Omos got to roll up. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Of course, Ryan, I had the pitch meeting catchphrase here. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Kevin Owens apparently was lying last week. He doesn't like Texas. John Smith texted me about this. He's like, what the hell? Why are they bringing in Texas? Stone Cold Steve Austin rumors or SpongeBob? Anyone want to talk about Stone Cold real quick? John McConney?
Just that, I mean, this is obviously leading to Kevin fighting someone from Texas. Of course, Stone Cold's the first one that jumps to my mind, but I suppose there are others.
Just
Ryan Joy, I threw out the idea pre-production of just having a KO show with his guest Stone Cold Steve Austin, just like Piper's Pit back in WrestleMania 21.
Yeah, I think just whatever they do, keep it short, right? I mean, it's if Steve is going to actually be in a match where they ring the bell and all that stuff, keep it short. But
WrestleMania 19 was his last match. Austin Rock 3. Wow.
And it's a really good one for him to go out on. So I just,
exactly.
Like Shawn Michaels never should have came back.
That match, my countdown, I think that's in my top 10. Rock Austin 3. It was the best out of the three. I loved Hollywood Rock in that whole feud.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to go forward into the Elimination Chamber. We got some comments real quick. We got Tegan Knox, Drake Maverick, John Morrison, and the rest of the Northern Team releases all become free agents tomorrow. Maybe they'll show up in Saudi Arabia.
By the way, the Veer Mahan thing, I've been thinking about this. He is on Main Event like every single week. And I think that show actually is used a lot more internationally. So I'm thinking that that's intentional. I don't know if he's ever coming to Raw, but he's going to be on Main Event if you want to watch that.
Chamber matchup. All right. Get rid of that, and we go forward. So here are our points. Same as always. There's all 5-point shows. Oh, sorry, I got to do the standings first, right? Maggie May is still kicking all our asses badly. 51 wins. She doesn't even have 10 losses yet. Absolutely unbelievable, the ass kicking she's putting on everybody. Ryan, you must be very proud.
I'm proud, yeah.
5 points for the WWE Universal title matches, 3 points for all the title matches, 1 point for non-title matches. Chambers get a 10-point bump. This is the WWE title, which is a 5-point match, is being defended in the chamber. That will make the perfect pay-per-view bonus 15 points. There was a gauntlet match last night on Monday Night Raw. I can give it the same. There was a gauntlet match to determine who's not winning the chamber match, pretty much. Rhea Ripley got 3 wins via the Riptide. The Bianca Belair defeated Rhea Ripley with the KOD. She just entered last, but again, John McConney with WWE logic, she just lost it. So, but what we did thought, and this is what John Smith actually took the time and the energy to actually make the graphic for this match, putting Daniel Bryan as the mystery opponent. So kudos to him. But Alexa Bliss's training looks like it's going well. The doc presented Alexa with the remains of Lily, and Alexa got through it. She presented her with a new Lily, and he said, I have an idea. And that is as long as she has this new Lily with the old remains in I guess the new doll, Alexa is going to be okay. So Alexa is, I guess, mentally cleared. And Alexa will actually be the 6th entrant. She is going to be the mystery opponent, the question marks. It wasn't Brian Danielson. I think it could have been CM Punk, I guess. Is that joke dead? I think that joke is dead. Anyway, but Alexa's time to get back in the ring. She put herself in the chamber. So this is a huge wrench in this match, Ryan Joy.
Yeah, it is. I kind of had Bianca Belair pegged to win this match before the gauntlet match occurred, and I'm feeling like I'm not going to change my mind. I'm going to keep my money on Bianca.
I wish maybe next summer when I have a little bit extra time. I got to do some chamber stats here. John DeConnie, I guess the one stat that we do know is the all-time winning most eliminations in a single chamber belongs to Shayna Baszler.
Yep.
And that's 5. That's the most you can get. She's the only one that's ever done it.
Yes.
I don't think anybody here. I don't think Doudrop's going to go on a run and beat all 5. But this. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and I was afraid it was going to be Bianca, and I don't want it to be Bianca, and I'm just going to try and will it into existence. I'm going to say Alexa.
Yeah, so let's. I mean, this is how I'm looking at it. Doudrop, she beat. Bianca Belair, she beat. Liv Morgan, she beat. Rhea Ripley. Rhea's interesting. And Nikki Ash is back to being no. So I think the winner of this match gets the winner of the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. I think it has to be Alexa Bliss here. I don't think there's any other options because either we've seen it before or it's Rhea Ripley. Yeah, it was 41 minutes, I believe, John DeConnie's stopwatch.
That's what my stopwatch said. Yep.
So I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss. I think that was a game-changing entry there. So, and the winner of that match will get the winner of the Raw Women's Championship match. I don't know why things are getting. Ryan, are you deleting stuff on me?
What's happening?
Again, I'm missing another graphic.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm not doing
it. There we go. Raw Women's. There we go. Apparently, there was a contract signing with Becky and Lita last night. Lita is pushing Becky to a point where Becky doesn't want to go and doesn't think she'll ever come back from. Lita also paying tribute to her parent childhood hero, Dangerous Danny Davis, wearing the black and white vertically striped pants. So the winner of the chamber gets the winner of this match, John DeConnie.
Yeah, you know, before they put Alexa into the chamber match with, no fanfare, I really thought that maybe this match would go on early and Lita would take the title from Becky. And then Becky would put herself in the chamber match and win it so that we get them at WrestleMania because that just seemed to make the most sense for, Lita was going to face Charlotte at WrestleMania, we thought, going into the Rumble. And now it just seems like she's, even though she keeps saying she's here for a nice run, I don't know if that's what we get here. I'm going to say Becky retains.
Brian Joy.
Yeah, I think Lita's here for the payday, right? I think she's going to get paid a whole truckload of money to go to Saudi Arabia and lose this match. Becky wins, and I don't care what you say. I'm still going. I'm doubling down on SummerSlam rematch.
Okay. Becky said you're not going to end the 500-day undefeated streak. If you count the 2 runs together, it's not going to happen in Saudi Arabia. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen at WrestleMania if it happens, and I'm not fully convinced it's going to.
Yeah, that'll be a hard match to call.
Yep. Madcap Moss in the trainer's room after I guess I get a black eye from the Claymore kick the week prior from Drew McIntyre. Madcap Moss in the trainer's room saying his eye isn't 100% and the match versus Drew at the Chamber should be canceled. But he was gold bricking Monsoon. He was gold bricking. Drew McIntyre called him out on it, said their match is now a Falls Count Anywhere. I believe the punchline to Moss's joke last week that WrestleMania main event got off scot-free, but I don't think. John DeConnie.
This one, I mean, obviously McIntyre's a quick and easy answer here, but I almost wonder if the way they get to McIntyre versus Corbin, since it's Falls Count Anywhere, presumably that also makes it no DQ. Does Corbin help Madcap Moss win here?
Yeah, I don't know if James is going to be talking about this match, but maybe lead up.
I'm going to go the safe route here and say McIntyre beats Moss.
Ryan Joy.
Yeah, I think, maybe Corbin will be involved to some extent, but I think in spite of that, McIntyre still gets the win. Easily.
I think he's definitely going to be involved. It all depends on whether or not their plan works or not. And I'm going to go that it's not. I think that's Corbin's going to do something so awful to the point where that's what's going to lead into WrestleMania. Because I guess they're going towards Corbin and McIntyre. McIntyre already beat Moss once. I guess now, what's the point of beating him twice? What are you proving if it's not Baron Corbin yet? So I think this is a story roadblock that's going towards McIntyre getting the win at WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with winner Riddick Moss here, Madcap Moss. Probably an end of days through something. I don't want to say explosive. I think that's too rough.
There's a lot of points are going to be shifting here, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm so behind on the standings in WWE. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Alpha Academy defeated the Mysterios after The Miz on commentary tried to distract Dominic on the top turnbuckle. Dominic attempted a high crossbody anyways, in which Gable rolled through, grabbed some tights, and completed the heel Raw roll-up with perfection. Post-match skull-crushing finale on Rey Mysterio to make sure the Mysterios stay out of their business. I spoke too soon because later in the night, we got Ray and The Miz going to Saudi Arabia. I will take The Miz on this one as I'm supposed to. Staying character, Brian Joy.
I also have selected The Miz for this win. I think Ray has to go over there because the king who puts on the show remembers Ray from the 90s, so he has to go, but he doesn't have to win.
John DeConnie.
I've got the video game cover guy getting the victory here. I think Miz. I don't think it matters. He's another one of the guys that falls into the category where it never matters whether he wins or not. You're still gonna hate him just as much the next time around. So give me Mysterio over Miz.
Speaking of which, John DeConnie, Chad Gable was all over the place on Monday Night Raw. Any thoughts on that?
All over the place.
Shoes!
Yeah.
No, you're not force-feeding Chad Gable down my throat. Poor Gable, please. Bring it. Sonya Deville announced that round on SmackDown that Ronda Rousey was fined and suspended, but that was overruled via email by Mr. McMahon. If Sonya interferes in the SmackDown title match, that her job would be in serious jeopardy. Charlotte Flair actually defeated Naomi one-on-one, no interference, to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship after hitting the natural selection. Sonya Deville went into the ring post-match to laugh at Naomi for losing. Naomi attacked, thwarted by Charlotte Flair. Sonya attacked, which was thwarted by Ronda Rousey. So they put him in a tag team match. This was announced last night on Monday Night Raw as well. Ronda Rousey and Naomi against Sonya Deville and Charlotte Flair. Brian Joy.
Yeah, and I'm hearing and you can put up your SpongeBob if you want. I'm hearing this is going to be Ronda with one arm tied behind her back in this match as the stipulation. So that makes me think, well, maybe I'm wrong about, I have Ronda and Naomi selected here, but if Ronda only has the use of one arm, maybe they're just trying to get Ronda over as the challenger. So I'm going to pick Ronda and Naomi.
Yeah, and John DeConnie, one arm, that's one thing. It's not like they tied one-legged person in an ass-kicking contest, right? Is that what the old JR, the old phrase was?
That's a good point. And I think Ronda can still put on the arm bar because two legs and one arm. I think that's still enough to put Sonya in the arm bar and get a tap.
Jay Gates going Rey Mysterio over the Miz. James Wheeler, good point. Let's get 3 women's matches, including a chamber match. So
they still
6.
can't drive. They have no rights, but
No, they can't drive. I can't drive. Driving's not important. Trains are for. 6 women in the chamber, 4 women, so that's 10 in that tag team match, plus Becky. It's 12 women competing in Saudi Arabia. No.
That's 12 triple X t-shirts that they're going to have to bust out.
The Usos attacked the Viking Raiders during a backstage interview on SmackDown. Ooh, wrong one. And stole their Viking helmets. So it looks like the Usos will be wearing, I guess at least on Friday. I hope they actually make it to Saudi Arabia. It's got to be tough to get those things through a metal detector at the airport, right? John McConnell?
Yeah, I think there's been almost no build to this, so I reserve the right to change my mind if something interesting happens on Friday. But I'm going to say the Usos retain here, and the Viking Raiders deserve better. But there's really been kind of no oomph to this other than stealing their horned helmets or horned crowns, whatever you say. So give me the Usos.
Ryan Joy.
yeah, same Z. I think I've got Jimmy and Jay retaining. I like Eric and Ivar a lot. I think they're a great team, and when the mojo is going, they're unstoppable. But the mojo is not going. So give me Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah, I think the Usos got to hold. I think they got to go through WrestleMania with it. As long as Roman's champion, they got to be champions as well.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the time or the place for them to lose. So I got the Usos. Speaking of Roman Reigns, backstage interview with Roman Reigns by Michael Cole. Goldberg would have had a chance 2 years ago. Roman is untouchable now. Now if they can get that Roman, it was 2 years ago. The main event of WrestleMania 36 was supposed to be Roman Reigns challenging Goldberg for the Universal Championship. Ended up being Braun Strowman traveling all the way across the country twice to make it there for that match after Roman went home due to COVID restrictions. Goldberg, in a backstage interview, responding to Roman Reigns, good luck, kid. It ain't going to happen. So we finally get the match that we should have had 2 years ago. But Roman's right. This is not that Roman Reigns that was supposed to be 2 years ago. This is the head of the table. This is our tribal chief. This is the untouchable one. Ryan Joy, I understand that Saudi loves Goldberg, and that's the reason why this is happening now. But it's
Same thing I said about Mysterio. Goldberg has to go because the Saudi prince knows him, knows who he is, but he doesn't have to win.
You can put the Viking Raiders helmet in a check bag. Yes, John Connor.
Yeah, this is Roman in God mode now. I didn't want that match 2 years ago. I don't care about this match now. I think Roman wins this one fairly easily, but the Saudis get to see Goldberg, so good for them.
Good Shane Wheeler, I guess he's got inside information saying that I guess he knows Goldberg has one match left on his contract. I didn't realize John Wheeler is he Goldberg's agent? I know that.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, this match 2 years ago cost me about 50 points because I didn't think Roman was going to be out as long as he was, and I had Goldberg beating Strowman, so he could eventually lose to Roman Reigns. So I lost 50 points on that one, but I'm sticking with Roman until he fights Rocky. I'm not going against Roman. In-ring promo last night to start off Monday Night Raw with Bobby Lashley, the almighty champion, with Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP, turned into a reintroduction of who's in the chamber match, which ended with Lesnar suplexing Theory all over the ring. Also later in the night, Damian Priest defeated AJ Styles with a roll-up to retain the United States title. I don't even know why AJ was challenging for that. That was weird. And then Seth Rollins defeated Randy Orton in the main event after Randy hit the RKO, which prompted the Alpha Academy. Again, Chad Gable everywhere. Love it. Randy met him halfway down the ramp. Randy rolled back. When Randy rolled back in after fighting the Alpha Academy, took a curb stomp. And then Seth Rollins got the 1, 2, 3. So those were the matches leading into from those combatants. We didn't see Austin Theory the rest of the night. We didn't see Brock Lesnar the rest of the night or Bobby Lashley. Riddle was in a toga for most of it. He was in that fight at the end as well. But this is This could be as cut and dry as Bobby Lashley retaining. It could be as cut and dry as Brock Lesnar retaining. I unfortunately put my prediction on the line a while ago, specifically, I think it was at the Royal Rumble, that where Bobby was going to beat Brock, which he did, and then I said Bobby was going to lose it in the chamber to either AJ Styles or Seth Rollins, so that those two would be the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. So I have to stick to that. Now, my decision, my problem is which route do you go? And then the reason why it's kind of weird how Styles just lost and Rollins just won in a main event. I still don't know who I'm picking out of these two. And the funny thing is, I'm probably wrong on both of them, Ryan Joy.
I think you are. So it's weird because on one hand, I say, okay, we got 2 nights of WrestleMania. We probably would benefit from having 2 world title matches. Now, on the other hand, this is the Elimination Chamber, and they can't get out of, they can't eliminate Lesnar by count out or DQ or funny business unless there's a rule change or something. So I don't see Lesnar eating a pin. He's definitely not submitting. So I'm going to pick Lesnar here, and so that it actually goes title for title at WrestleMania. The only caveat is, they introduce some rule that there's a new way to eliminate somebody from the Elimination Chamber, like they exit the cage or something like that.
John DeConnie, for Lesnar to get eliminated, it has to be by Roman Reigns getting into the cage and spearing him for Austin Theory to pin Brock Lesnar. I think that would be absolutely incredible. It has to be Theory, though, but it has to be a spear from Roman Reigns to get him out.
I was going a different way, kind of off of what Ryan was saying. The door opens and Brock and Lashley either chase each other out or roll out, and they fight all the way to the back. We never see them again. Like, that way you don't have to beat Lashley. You don't have to beat Brock. I know it makes no sense, but putting Brock in this match made no goddamn sense because then it made no sense to have had him beat, to have Lashley beat him. So, I've been saying for 2 weeks, I thought Brock was going to go crazy and murder somebody backstage and get, suspended and get pulled out of this match. They didn't go that route. So now how do they get themselves out of this that we don't wind up with title for title? Because title for title makes no goddamn sense. So I see them exiting the cage while the doors open from one of the other eliminations and rolling to the back. We never see them again, and Seth Rollins wins the title here.
I'd actually decided on AJ Styles just because if this is going to be the main event, I think they're going to send the crowd home happy. Yeah, Lesnar's there because it's Saudi Arabia, and that's it. I think the hole in my theory is, if Lesnar, if Reigns spears Lesnar, and that doesn't eliminate Bobby though. Like, so how do you get Bobby out of this thing? And maybe a phenomenal forearm. I think Styles could do it. I don't think Bobby's that. I guess maybe this day and age Bobby Lashley is, but.
I picked Rollins.
I'm going to go sending the crowd home happy with AJ Styles. And like I said, I think it would just be the best thing in the world if they did AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. I don't care who has the belt. That match would do the WWE Championship proud at WrestleMania. So that is our Elimination Chamber picks. John Smith, he's got Bobby Lashley retaining, Roman Reigns retaining, Becky Lynch retaining. He is with Brian Joy. He's got Bianca Belair as well. He's got the War Raiders, Viking Raiders, winning the tag titles. Good for him. Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, and he's got Charlotte Flair, Sonya Deville winning the tag team match. So that will do it for that. And then here's we at. So here are the Raw roll-ups that we tallied up this week. It's Deonna Purrazzo, probably the most technical Raw roll-up of all time. She got on Santana Garrett. Angel Friday night on Kofi Kingston. Then we had 3 last night on Raw. Damian Priest, Reggie, Chad Gable, and Raw has now taken their lead back from AEW, who went squeaky clean on both Dynamite and Rampage. Raw back in the driver's seat, and even more fun news. I believe I counted there's 23. If we do this right, so 7-3 is 10, 6-3 and 1 is 10. Yeah, 23. 23 roll-ups. There's been different guys doing them every week. There really hasn't been a leaderboard up until, again, the MVP, I think, of today's episode, Chad Gable. He strikes first. He's the annual, the yearly winner right now. He's leading the pack with his second roll-up this past week. Everyone else stuck at 1. There still has been all 23 different people have been rolled up on the other side, so we'll get into that. Once that's
So here, I have a question.
Back, I guess, right?
Would a crucifix bomb be considered a roll-up?
No, because I think the bomb would knock you out, right? That's
Okay.
just the
Because there is Colby Carino, who is Steve Carino's son. He does what I can only describe as a Mahi straw cradle bomb to get a win, to get his win. So I know you're not tracking NWA here, so you won't see that.
No, I don't even know the name of their champion.
It's an interesting roll-up.
Sounds like it. I'm going to try to get a little music going there. There we go. I like that. And here I am ripping off the Daily Wrestling Morning News Show because I'm going to be doing some music during the ads. Primetime Rundown, powered by StreamYard with Joe Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, Rob DeLuca. Now airing at 6 p.m. on Friday night. 7 p.m. on Friday nights as they take the wide world of sports right here on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. For more information, please go to theeasternobserver.com. We have a new show on the Eastern Observer, 5 episodes old, one near and dear to my icy heart. The Sunday Sauce debuted about a month ago with our very own Sheriff Tyler Adele, along with his partner Drewski Doodles, I believe is his Twitter handle, Andrew Macaria, as they bring you everything NHL and all of the league's happenings. Get saucy this Sunday afternoon with the Sunday Sauce right here on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. The Body Slam Brigade newsletter, over 5,000 subscribers, received this weekly column. Make sure you go to minutestobelltime.com to subscribe. The Body Slam Brigade, by Ryan, for you, for free. The Black Cats NYC, their new album, Free Cake, is out on all of these music providers. Deezer, YouTube, Pandora, Spotify. Wherever you get your music, you can get the Black Cats NYC's album, Free Cake. It's out now. Play it loud. As always, the Central Wrestling Podcast is sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com, the internet leader in sports entertainment pick'em pools. Join us in the EWP public pool to play against us or create a private pool with you and your friends. ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. Guys, she will like it too. Join us back here next week. Episode 94 of the Central Wrestling Podcast. We will be recapping the Elimination Chamber, Vengeance Day, and No Surrender, plus whatever happens between Wardlow and CM Punk and all that mess on Dynamite, who's fighting who. Going to be a great week of wrestling. I'm looking forward to it, John McConney.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of stuff going on this weekend. You've heard all our picks. We've got big shows. Can't wait.
Ryan Joy.
All good. Big weekend of wrestling. Let's have fun.
Yeah, maybe we just started this in January, Jay. It's only a couple of months old, so maybe I guess give Orange Cassidy a chance here. So that'll be it for us. For Ryan Joy, for John DeConnie, Alexa Bliss, we love you. Larry Steve, forever in our hearts. John DeConnie, take it home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all of your future endeavors.
All right, now that this is done, I can go back and watch this.